Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.
Dimensional storage. This skill will allow the user to store items into its shadow storage. As long as there is a shadow nearby, you can take out and put in items as you wish. This includes your very own shadow underneath your feet. If only I had this skill sooner, Quinn thought. While Quinn's system allowed him to store crystals and specific ability books inside, it did not allow him to store anything else. So the dimensional storage was a great skill to have. Shadow Control Level 1 allows the user to control their own shadow. The description was short and didn't really reveal much. Even if he could control his own shadow, what use was that? Quinn then looked at the skills tab again. At the moment, he was able to see 10 skills in total, while the rest were covered. Next to each skill was a number. Shadow Cloak Level 1, 10 skill points to unlock. There were multiple skills, but the Shadow Cloak was the only one that he was able to unlock right now. His excitement got the better of him, and as long as he could unlock the other skills later on, what was there to worry about? You have successfully unlocked Shadow Cloak Level 1. This skill allows you to use your own shadow to surround you into the darkness. Your opponents will struggle to see you depending on their level of perception, best used in the shadow or at night. It wasn't exactly what he was expecting, but it seemed like it was a type of invisibility cloak, one that would work well on beasts that were weak, but not those of a higher level. Quinn then stood up from the ground and was ready to test out his skills. He could see that Vorden was still walking around the stadium, seeing if he could find anything. It was hard for Vorden to see, due to the lights being broken, and he didn't have the same type of vision as Quinn. That meant the whole room was dark. Perfect. Shadow Cloak activated. -1 MC for every 10 seconds of use. His own shadow below started to lift up from the ground and slowly crept up his body, from his toes to his knees, all the way to the top strands of hair on his head. As Quinn walked around the arena, he could see that his MC stat was like a bar. While using the skill, it was slowly going down. Vorden immediately jumped back and attracted a chair into his hand. Vorden went to repel the chair, throwing it in Quinn's direction. "Hey, wait, it's just me," Quinn said, as he deactivated his skill and could be seen ducked down. "What the hell, Quinn? You almost gave me a heart attack. Do you not remember just seconds ago I was fighting to the death against you?" Vorden complained. "I've been on high alert since." "Sorry," Quinn said, as he let out a little nervous laugh. "But man, you already know how to use the shadow ability already? And that seemed like a skill?" Vorden asked, amazed. "Like I said when I read that book, it seems like all the information was inserted into my head. All I have to do is think about it, and I can do it." Vorden then walked over towards Quinn and took out his hand. "Do you mind this time?" Vorden asked. "Sure, go ahead." "An ability has been detected. Ability has been blocked." "What's the meaning of this?" Quinn asked inside his head to the AI system. "The system will try its best to do whatever it can to help the user. It will tell you when abilities are being used on you and all sorts." "Can I temporarily cancel the feature?" Quinn asked. "It's not really a feature. It's just informing you of what your vampire body is naturally doing. Besides, even if the boy could copy your ability, he wouldn't be able to use it." "What do you mean?" "That skill book you used is specific for vampire cells. This is the reason why he can't copy it. Your body structures are completely different. But you could always turn him into a blooded one. Would you like to activate the blood skill ritual?" "Yes? No?" Quinn was wondering what the blood ritual was. After all, there wasn't much information revealed about it. But now that the system was offering for Vorden to become a blooded one, it all became clear to him. It was a ritual that would allow Vorden to turn into some type of vampire. In the end, though, Quinn decided it wasn't his decision to make. "Hey, Vorden, if you had the option, or let's say I could turn you into a vampire, would you?" Quinn asked. "I don't want to hurt your feelings or anything like that, but the answer would be no," Vorden replied. "Being weak for most of the day, sure, it's fine while we're on a planet like this, but besides, what would happen to my ability?" "Yeah, sorry, Vorden, it probably would get rid of your ability," Quinn said. "I just thought I would ask. You might have been one of those types obsessed with vampires." The two of them then started to head down the stadium floor, an area that was designed for combat. They had been looking around the room for an hour now, and it seemed like they were unable to find a place where the portal could be. They needed to make a decision, whether or not to leave the training center and head outside to look for another place. But before deciding any of that, Quinn wanted to get the hang of his new skills. Vorden was also interested and thought he might be able to help, since he had experience with using elemental abilities before. The two continued to do more tests with the dimensional storage. Quinn found out that not only his shadow could be used to gain access to things, but also Vorden's shadow or any shadow cast by the wall and buildings. Shadow control level 1 active. Then inside Quinn's mind, something had clicked. He felt like he had a new set of arms he could control. The shadow underneath his legs was alive and could freely move about. He lifted the shadow, and it was like a dark moving mist that continually surrounded him. I guess the skill is limited to just the shadow around you for now. It's like a level 1 Earth ability, said Vorden. I wonder why it needs so many mutant cells to activate, and is considered a level 6. Using the shadow around him, Quinn was able to extend it out and lift the small piece of metal that he pulled from his dimension earlier. It was like controlling another person. Well, now that you got the hang of it, you want to spar a little? Vorden asked. Now the two of them stood opposite each other, ready to have a friendly fight. Vorden this time had a couple of metal balls hovering around him, instead of spikes. Be careful, Quinn. Although these might not be like the spikes, they can still do a lot of damage. It's alright, Vorden, my body can handle it. Not using his full strength, Vorden repelled the ball at a decent speed, heading towards Quinn. The ball left the shadow wall and slammed right into Quinn's stomach, falling to the ground. Ah! Quinn shouted as he tried to breathe in some air. Well, I wasn't expecting that, Vorden said. Try again, Quinn groaned.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.
Let's see how physical attacks work, Vorden said as he moved forward and swung a long metal pipe he had in his hand. Vorden continued to attack with the metal pipe, and Quinn continued to block, moving the shadow in the areas where Vorden was attacking. That's when he realized something. Every time Quinn would hit his shadow, his MC points would go down by a chunk. Then when Vorden was about to attack one more time, "Wait, stop, Vorden!" Quinn shouted. His shadow had vanished, and he had run out of MC points. The shadow acted as a type of shield. It wasn't solid enough to block attacks, but would be able to slow them down. Well, I can see why your ability is a level 6 now, Vorden said. I think it's more to do with how freely you can use the shadow, and my example would be the skills. Quinn was happy with the results of the shadow ability, and hearing Vorden talk about made him feel even more confident. With the spar over, the two of them decided that once Quinn was fully rested and his MT points were back, they would exit out of the training center and go exploring again. After all, if they did nothing, they would soon start to starve, and Vorden didn't want another instance where Quinn got too hungry. Suddenly, 4 people appeared holding hands together on the street. As soon as they saw where they were, they immediately let go. Is everyone here? Faye asked as she did a head count. The homeroom teacher Dell was here, although he was still wearing clothing like he was ready to teach. Then there was the doctor, Haley. She was dressed more appropriately, with high-end beast gear all over. She didn't look like her usual self in her white robe and looked almost intimidating. Then there was Leo. He was wearing light armor that fitted tightly to the skin, similar to Faye. Both of their abilities focused on speed, so it was important not to wear something too heavy. All right, our goal is to find the children, Faye said. The rescue team had arrived. On Dell's back was a fairly large rucksack that looked quite heavy. As he walked with the group, his footsteps stomped the ground and his back was arched. Why do I have to carry this thing? Dell complained. Right now you're the weakest of us 4, right? Faye replied. So if you want us to protect you, it's best that you carry the portable teleporter. Fine, I understand that, but why even the need to bring the portable teleporter in the first place? Isn't the teleporter fine on this end? Dell asked. It's back up, Leo said. Look around you and look at this shelter. It was basically the size of a city. Don't you think they had people protecting it as strong as us? I don't want to stay on this planet for long, and I don't want to find out what destroyed this shelter. Leo walked up front and using his ability allowed him to see an aura around things. A beast's aura was always red, while humans, yellow. It also allowed him to see the aura through most objects, such as building walls and so on, allowing them to avoid any confrontation with beasts. As they continued to walk, Haley had a question on her mind. I've always wondered, which of you two are stronger? Haley asked. The two up front suddenly froze, and Dell looked at Haley like she had no sense of personal questions. Hey, you can't just ask something like that, Dell whispered. It's okay, Faye said. I can easily answer for you. It's Leo. I don't know if you two know this, but we had to practically beg him to join our ranks after the First War. Back then, he was only a private, but he had made so many accomplishments. It was unbelievable. Leo didn't say anything after that, in fact. He never spoke much in the first place. Finally, the group had arrived just outside the training center. We'll make sure the portal is safe first, and then after we will go out looking for the kids, Faye said. The entrance looks clear, said Leo. They walked onward and eventually saw the dead Rataclaws just outside of the entrance. What happened here? Haley asked. Do you think it was the kids? I think you mean kid, Del added. Only one of them has an ability, remember? Ah, Vorden is the original, correct. His ability is to copy that of others. Although we don't really know how it works, it could be possible. If he copied a strong ability, then I could see him being able to kill these rats, said Faye. Well, if we find Vorden, we can go home, right? Del asked. Are you suggesting we leave and not bother looking for the other one? Leo asked. The mission stated to only find Vorden. Anyone else is considered a bonus. Would you risk your lives for one student? When I joined that war, what do you think I was doing? Leo asked. I was risking my life for the sake of everyone. Enough, you two, Faye snapped. Technically, Del is correct, but I see you are passionate about this. We will scout the nearby area using your ability. If we find nothing, then we leave. Fair? Leo didn't say much and started to walk up to the door. He drew out his katana blade and readied himself. Isn't that door made out of glathrium? It's one of the hardest materials we know of. It's why this training center remained unharmed in the first place, Del said, chuckling at the idiotic attempt Leo was about to make. I'm assuming you wanted to know why Leo is stronger than I am? Faye asked. Leo slashed the door with one swing. No sound was made, and it seemed like the door wasn't even touched. Then, a few seconds later, a vertical slash was seen in the door, and the top half fell backwards onto the floor. That's why, said Faye. After entering through the glathrium door, they continued to walk in the hallway, which was covered in darkness. Del couldn't get out of his head how easily Leo was able to break the door. It wasn't like Del was a student. He was a professor, too. He had participated in the war back then as well and never saw anything like what he saw today. However, it was clear to Del that what Leo was using was at least a top-level beast-tier weapon. They had entered the reception area, where several doorways were leading to different sections of the training center. Wait, stop, Haley said to Leo and Faye up front. She bent down and studied the ground. Can you see what this is? It's blood and leading that way, she said as she pointed to the living quarters. How can you tell which direction it's coming from the stadium as well? Del asked. Well, the blood tail, you can see that it's heading in the direction, and there's a lot of it, almost as if someone was dragged this way. Come on, let's hurry. It could be one of the students, Faye said. They followed the trail until finally it led them to the hallway with a broken door outside and a ripped-apart chair. Faye peeked her head into the room with the broken door and immediately turned away. Haley, I think you better take a look at this, Faye said. Haley took over and went inside the room, while Del also took a look and turned his head away. Did you see the body? Del said. Its body was ripped in half, guts spilling everywhere.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.
Pocket FM. To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.